So I am back. Thought I'd start with a nice kind of easy one. I was going to do my a collection haul over the last 6 months or whatever. I don't have time to do that, so I'm going to do all the kind of new Chanel's, kind of a collection haul. Hang on, the dog is there. Charlie. Charlie. But yeah, I've bought quite a few. Kind of really got into the brand, as we do. Kind of have these fads, don't we? He's back. So yeah, and like I say, I'm out of practice. It won't be overly detailed or anything. It's just, you know, it's hard to get back into the swing, isn't it? And it's been a while because the weather's been so dreadful. You cannot really do this and just not having the time. So thought I'd get my sister's dog, a little Charlie, and go walk and film. Why not? We'll get into it anyway. Okay, so we'll kind of start with the number 5s. Now, this obviously these ones I've hauled are not my entire. I'm not going to go through every Chanel I own, but just the ones I've bought. And I'm like a lot of us, I've been kind of Chanel number 5 is iconic, and it is really, really good. And I don't think it's ever gonna go out of fashion. It's one of them that is kind of timeless. I'm not, as we know, I've always said I'm not the biggest fan of the brand, full stop, for various reasons, but they do have some great fragrances. Would I call number 5 a masterpiece? Yeah, of its time. Not now, obviously, but of its time it certainly was. You can't argue with that. But anyway, yeah, the first one I picked up was a couple of bottles of a vintage EDT. One of the bottles I think I've got, it's hard to tell the date with some of them, but there are certain clues. I think one of them is potentially a 70s bottle, and one of them is either 70s, 80s, because they have different things on, like, you know, EU laws and stuff came in. But basically the vintage kind of one is a lot like the modern. To be fair, the modern one's pretty damn good as well. But what I've found with the more vintage ones that I've worn them is that the civet certainly does stand out more, but it's not like a skanky overpowering one, but maybe because my nose is used to it. But it's much brighter, like again, like the more modern one is. They're much kind of brighter. The aldehydes really shine. It's kind of got that, just this kind of bright, furry kind of bubbliness under it all. Again, some of that will be touches of patchouli and stuff. It's magnificent. Where it kind of differs from the EDP, if you like, is it's in a strange way. I think I've spoke about this in another video. It's bigger, but it's not massively bright. It's not like you'd say a traditional EDT is, where you kind of, you know, it's all bright and big, but it just has more life to it, more fizz, more vibrant, and it's a little bit sweeter. Not to say that the EDP, the modern ones, aren't quite sweet, but yeah, it's beautiful. So that's the EDT. Next, I suppose we'll go with I've got a couple of bottles of the eau de cologne again. Probably 70s. In fact, it was discontinued, you know, at some point as well, so it's definitely a much older vintage bottle. Now the EDT, sorry, the cologne, obviously, Charlie, really surprised me, because it's not what you'd expect. It's not like a cologne, and sometimes you read into it. I've obviously read before I bought it stuff. I don't know where these people get some of the nonsense about what it's like about. I think, going on kind of the strengths of stuff, if that matters, I think the concentration is actually a Parfum, and it's much stronger than the EDP and stuff is nowadays. It's quite big, and it wears actually quite heavy, but my god, it's beautiful. It's really, again, the notes seem brighter, like it's got a lot more kind of richness to it, a lot fruitier. The citrus kind of sparkles. Again, it's still, you recognise it as a Chanel number 5 easily, but it's just got this life about it. And again, This notches up that kind of the civet in the base a lot more. It adds a lot more warmth, and there is even to my nose a little bit more funk, and it's just magnificent. But a lot of people I've seen say this is the one the guys would wear because it's called cologne. If you like, I mean, whatever gender you are, you can wear whatever you want because it's just marketing, isn't it? But this one, I suppose, because of the amped up civet and the kind of, it's not as, I want to say it's not as floral, but that's not true. The lily of the valley is very strong, but it's cleaner and dirtier. If I was to compare this Chanel Amouage's Gold, which is kind of well, how would you say? It's kind of a bit of an homage to number 5, isn't it? I'd say it's most similar to the cologne, and that one's marketed to men. Not that it is, but it's got much more about it. It's a much bigger fragrance. I'm waffling out, but yeah, that's the cologne. And then it's been me. Obviously, I bought 2 little bottles of the Parfum. Again, varying ages, hard to tell. One of them is quite old, again probably 70s, and one of them I think again probably early 80s. The difference between the two, I haven't done a side by side, but what it is about that is it's a Parfum. It is quite strong. It's much richer, as you'd expect. I find it a little sweeter, and it just wears, perhaps the citrus and the floral shine more. Again, maybe it's in my head, but because it's a Parfum, the aldehydes are there, but it's not, they don't really lift off the skin. I mean, after a few hours, don't get me wrong, it is still lifting, it is still there, but it doesn't have the vibrance, which is what you'd expect, isn't it? And really, again, Chanel number 5 DNA. I'm not going to waste the time to keep going through that, isn't it? But yeah, it's just as you'd expect, a much richer, kind of fuller, heavier wearing version of the Parfum. Then, as we know, one of my favourites is Coco. So of course I bought the EDT, why not? The bottle is old, it's not quite modern, but it's not that old. When I look it up, it's the 2000s, somewhere around there. Now this one, oh god, it's so much like the EDP, but what, as you'd expect, the citrus is really pop in the beginning. It's really bright, but what you also get with that bright opening start is the civet is dirty. You can really, don't get me wrong, it does ease off, but it's really kind of that kind of rubbing your face in an animal's bum kind of thing. It is quite big, and if you spray it too hard, my god, it's quite a cloud. But it's you know, it's cocoa, it's the cloves and the kind of florals in there, and the lovely kind of resinous-y base. But it is much brighter. It is, well, what an EDT is and what you'd expect it to be. It just fizzes and bubbles a lot more, and a bit sweeter, like I say, a bit more dirty. Obviously that calms down. It's just a lovely version of one of the best. So that's the Coco EDT. Next is Cristalle. Now Cristalle, I don't know, I got again two bottles of varied ages, both old. Don't need to get into it too much, do we? But this is, oh, it's such a beautiful one. It starts off really green and kind of a little bit, the galbanum adds a bit of kind of bitterness to it, but it's very, very green and stemmy. I don't know if the influencers use that word, but you know what I mean. If you bite like a stem of a flower or something like that, or some grass, it's got that kind of bitter greenness, and that's kind of what it's about for quite a while. But in the background, see, no notes here. I think it's hyacinth, something like that. Yeah, it's likely to be hyacinth, isn't it? Where it's like this, that kind of purpley blue sweetness, but still, it's not like a violet or something. Still quite a bit of greenness in there, isn't there? I think there's violet leaf, which again has a kind of green, airy sweetness to it. But as it develops more and more and more, you get that kind of the green, sweet, blue kind of floral feel. With the green, the green doesn't ever go away, but it does fade back, so it's not quite so bitter. It's like smelling like, you know, if there was a bush just in spring with the flowers there, you get the green and the sweetness of the flowers. That's very much what it's like. And it is, the reason I say spring is it's like there'd be ice round it. It's quite crisp. I think people call it like the ice cream one, but I get what they mean. It is crisp and fresh and empty. It's not one that's kind of got a warm coziness around it. It's lovely. So that's Cristalle. Now this was in my last haul. I got number 19 and I got the EDT, didn't I? So I bought an EDP, obviously, as you do. Now Cristalle and number 19 are not a million miles apart, to be honest with you. They go in different directions, but again this one opens very green and there's a little bit of the bitterness, potentially even the same kind of note. Yeah, so again it's the galbanum, it's that green kind of bitterness. Now again, as this one develops, it's not as floral as Cristalle. It's also not as cold or crisp. The green notes, like it's grassy. It's more just green. Now of course there will be kind of florals in there, but it's not what it's about. It's all these like shades of green and really lovely and really fresh. And the difference between this and the EDT to me is obvious. Again, it's not miles apart. It's just a bit richer, a bit more warmth, a bit more musky. Oh my god, Charlie, I'm in trouble. Look at that. He's absolutely filthy. Come on, son. So yeah, that's number 19, the EDP. Next, I got the EDT of number 22. Again, I think this one's around about the 90s, 2000s, something like that. When it was discontinued around then anyway. Now I've obviously spoke about EDP quite a lot. The EDT is a lot like the EDP, but as Chanel do their thing with them, that's quite predictable. It's always it's the same as the others. It's generally quite bright. It's not as sweet or floral. It's much more airy, and there is a little bit of a kind of naughty touch to this one again, but it is without doubt all about the aldehydes and the musks and stuff. The aldehydes are huge. Lily of the Valley, it's very clean, it's very kind of alluring and stuff. I find it really, I don't know if this is me, I've always find it quite sexy when something's really got that kind of clean vibe, that little bit of naughtiness running through it, and it is like that, a little bit soapy and what have you. And again, I always find this the more kind of friendly Chanel number 5. Now I think people would disagree with me and say this is a lot more than number 5 because of all the aldehydes, but I tend to find it more kind of playful, like the EDP. Like I say, it's not quite as sweet. This one's more on your soapy, musky side, but it's just lovely. It's really nice. Don't know why they got rid of this one, but we don't know, do we? So that's number 5, not number 5, number 22, the EDT. And next to two of the Les Exclusives. First up is Gardenia, and I got the EDT actually, which I didn't even know existed. When I bought it, I just bought it because it's Gardenia and I love the fragrance. But again, the major difference is the EDT one I've got is a lot greener, much more green, and the Lily of the Valley and the other kind of floral aspects to it sit on the more kind of, again, spring day kind of thing, the greenness there. It's still rich and silky. It's not as, the EDP to me has a lot more kind of creamy, rich, thick, like ice cream petals, if you know what I mean. whereas this is the petaliness. Obviously Gardenia itself as a note is quite a thick one, but in the EDT the petals are a little bit lighter and a little, like I say, greener and brighter. I dare say a lot bigger actually. I find it pushes out a lot more, well certainly around me in a cloud and that. So that's Gardenia. And finally in this little haul, if I've probably forgot some, I say this is very much just off the top of my head, is Lilion. Now Lilion, I think we all know, is it's their most kind of recent masterpiece, if you like. This is quite something. It's not unlike anything out there, but it's unlike anything that you'd normally get from Chanel. It's really all about the labdanum. I don't think there's leather in it, but it's very much got that leathery aspect. It starts really dark and heavy and smoky. There's a little bit of a buzz of like it'll be bergamot, like a limey kind of citrus there, which does last a little bit, to be fair. But then the kind of darker notes of labdanum, the resins, that kind of leatheriness, that kind of smokiness around it all grows. Is it benzoin or vanilla in there, which kind of smooths it off? Was it created to be kind of appeal to the Middle East? I can see that in its kind of way. It's just lovely, and it's perfect for the winter and stuff. I wouldn't wear it like today. We're probably on 11-12 degrees, which I normally wear, but 11-12 degrees after what we've had recently, it feels like it's midsummer. So I probably won't wear it when it's feeling this hot, but that kind of level is a good to wear it. So yeah, that's Lilion from, well, Chanel obviously. So yeah, that's it. I would imagine this is rather short, to be fair, hopefully. So I'll spend years editing it. I will get back more into the swing of stuff eventually. Probably a bit slow, and I definitely need to put more interesting creative videos up than just a list of fragrances basically. It's tedious, isn't it? And it's obviously quite random. But yeah, what was your favourite Chanel? Have you kind of got more into the vintage ones? I don't know, I got the vintage EDT of Chanel No. 5. I was just like, must get more. Went through a bit of a crazy patch with it. But that's this video done. Right folks, thanks for watching and bye.